Today I want to talk to you about a very important word in the personal development arena. That word is choice. Whenever I teach goal setting, I always tell people that before you even think about setting a goal, you must first understand where you are in life and why you are where you are. Let's break down that sentence for just a minute. Where are you in life? Everyone needs a point of reference. Imagine what it would be like to be dropped in the middle of nowhere. You're completely disoriented and you have no idea where you are. You don't know what state you're in, what country you're in, maybe even what continent you're on. All you've been given for survival is a compass. In which direction are you going to move? Perhaps more importantly, does it really matter? Is moving south any different than moving west? It's really hard to tell, isn't it? And that's the way it is with our personal lives and the achievement process. We all need a frame of reference because without that frame of reference, we have no way to judge the quality and the effect of our actions. We don't know if any particular action is going to move us forward, backward, or sideways. The second part of that sentence is very, very important and is sometimes more difficult to deal with. And that is that we must understand why we are where we are in life. I often make the comment to people that you are where you are in life because of the choices you have made. I was giving a talk to a group of people not long ago, and one of the gentlemen in the audience vociferously disagreed with me. When I asked him to give me his opinion, he told me that there were too many circumstances to list in his life over which he had no control. He began talking about how he did not have any choice as far as his parents were concerned. He didn't get to choose his parents. He didn't get to choose the country and city he grew up in. He didn't get to choose the socioeconomic circumstances that made up the early part of his life. And I told him, you're exactly right. You didn't get to choose that. But it plays right into the comment that I was going to make, and that is that we as human beings are great rationalizers. Stop and think about it for just a minute. When you do something and it turns out to be successful, isn't it all about you? Don't you get excited about what you've done? But what happens when you don't do so well? What happens when you fail and you fall flat on your face? Are you excited about taking responsibility for your failure? Or is it easier for you to blame someone or something else, your circumstances, for that failure? My point is that at some point in our lives, we have to learn to accept responsibility for who we are and where we are. And that we are where we are largely, maybe not entirely, but largely because of the circumstances and the choices that we ourselves have created. A number of years ago, on a Sunday morning, I was sitting reading the newspaper. One of my favorite parts of the newspaper to read on Sunday is the comics. And there was a cartoon strip in this particular newspaper called Pogo. It was a little penguin and his friends. And in this particular cartoon strip, it showed them sitting on the floor with pots and pans on their heads and sticks in their hands like they were ready to go off to war. And the little penguin turned to his friends and said, "We has met the enemy, and he is us." It was at that point that I realized that one of the worst enemies I have in this world is the guy who stares back at me from the mirror as I'm shaving every morning. Once I realized that, and I started taking responsibility for my life and the choices that I have made, my life went in an entirely different direction. The neat part about this whole lesson is this. As much as the circumstances and experiences and choices you have made in your life have brought you to where you are today, they have absolutely nothing to do with where you go tomorrow. If you don't like where you are today, choose differently. The problem that most people have is that they keep making the same choices over and over again, and then they get frustrated when their lives don't move in a different direction. It's kind of like the definition of insanity. Insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting to get different results. It doesn't work real well. So if you want to change your direction in life, if you're not happy with where you are, start changing your choices. And as you make wiser choices, you'll be surprised with the results that you get.
Copyright 2014 by Gary L. Smith and Optimum Performance Technologies, LLC. All rights reserved. For more information, visit optex.com.